Skyggen, the Shadow Woman, a paranormal erotic romance story by Giselle Renarde, read by the author. As dusk came on like a gentle dew, Mirjam sat on the upper terrace of her rustic vacation villa. Sipping local berry wine, she gazed down at the villagers sauntering up the steep incline outside her door. The distance she'd put between herself and urban anxieties made Mirjam feel as though she'd stepped into the past. She could certainly get used to this life. A yellow bird tore across Mirjam's line of vision, drawing her gaze to the terrace across the street. Her heart jumped in her chest as she jumped out of her wicker chair, splashing wine down the front of her sundress. After a stunned moment of concentrating on the sight that had brought her to her feet, she laughed. It wasn't at all what she thought. She could have sworn she'd caught a glimpse of a dark, ghostly woman on the terrace across the street. Feeling rather sheepish, she realized the form was in fact her own shadow, cast outward by the firelight illuminating her villa. In fact, when she looked very hard, she could see the neighboring villa was entirely uninhabited. No furnishings, no people, no life. With an intoxicated chuckle, she shook the wine from her dress and stepped inside to change. When Mirjam took coffee the next morning, she was stunned to find the villa across the way bustling with activity. Movers brought in the kind of gaudy, overpriced furnishings so often purchased by rich people with no taste. Friends brought baskets of fruits and confectionaries. All activity seemed centered around one woman who coasted from room to room like a shadow. After Mirjam's vacation ended, she returned to her life in the city. At first, she thought it was the readjustment to urbanity that had her feeling out of sorts. But as time passed and her system seemed never to conform to the old way of doing things, she wondered precisely what had happened in that holiday villa to change her personality so drastically. Suddenly, she couldn't stand the career that had keenly held her interest for so many years. She gave up gambling for charity work and alcohol for spiritual involvement. She took up yoga and meditation, took on a vegetarian diet, and still she felt in some sense incomplete.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?